I hope this is recording. Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is
Morning Somewhere!
for December 10th, 2025. My name is Bernie Burns, sitting right over there. She's so happy about her latest milestone. It's Ashley Burns. Say hi to Ashley, everybody.
It's a big deal. It's the 10th of December.
Right before we started the podcast, I said 10th of December. Sometimes I just say the date out loud before we do it.
Got to remind yourself what day it is.
And Ashley said, so proudly,
That's right. We're all out of single digits for the year. We're done. There's no more.
I can't believe the milestone that I never tracked has finally happened this year. Never once thought about that ever.
But now you're thinking about it, aren't you?
So it's too late. If you were anything you wanted to do on a single digit day in 2025,
Can't do it now.
everybody, it's over. It's done.
You missed
The year passed
you
you by.
missed your window.
I did see there's a thing going around now on social media, which, by the way, doesn't exist.
If you're a kid in Australia, it doesn't exist for you now.
They're really happy about it, too. Like, they are very, very happy about this program. All the headlines that I'm reading about it are, this will be the first domino to fall in the world.
Well, of course. I mean, this is a legislation that they've pushed through. They're gonna tout it, right, as like being this huge, wonderful thing. They're not gonna be like, and that piece of shit just started, so enjoy it, kids. They're gonna be like, yes, let kids be kids. Of course, they're gonna say good things. I think it's gonna be a little while before they see the effects, but they're hoping to have like some sort of initial report about how successful it is by Christmas.
I'm not seeing a lot of pushback on it other than the impact it's going to have on everyone else,
Right.
of age verification.
Where are you going to see the pushback? The kids can't push back right now.
Well, I mean, they could have after the vote and everything like that.
I guess
or
so.
even parents going like, my kids have to have this. I don't want them to be behind the rest of the world in terms of social development. Social development is one of those things you don't hear about it until you're a parent. And then there's some parents in particular, they talk about social development all the time.
Right,
Up until they go to university.
Well, because then once they go to university, theoretically, it's out of your hands as a parent, right?
I always felt like a lot of times those discussions are kind of like the discussions we have about other aspects of kids' lives, like getting into sports or academics or whatever, where parents are trying to they're thinking about their own childhood and then applying that to their kids' childhood 30 years later or something,
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, I would love for the kids to learn an instrument. I never learned an instrument, and I feel like that would have been a valuable skill to have. So it's like one of those things that I would be tempted to make sure the kids do, or play a sport or something, like some sort of like team building activity, so they learn to be part of a team and they build the social skills, and the us as opposed to me part of that mentality. And you think through all these things, right? My list was always one instrument, one sport. There was a third one, but I forgot what it was.
Well, like probably an art of some kind, I assume, besides music.
Probably an art, yeah.
Yeah, like drama or choir.
A language. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was like one other language, one instrument, and then one sport of some kind.
And one other secret family, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just wander over and get fed by them every now and then. Like Joe the cat.
Yeah, I wonder how many families that cat had.
Yeah, but who knows? I think it was the little girl next door who was one of the best neighbors we ever had.
Oh, she would always tell us about how she fed him pink salmon.
Yeah, I guess they had pink salmon in a can next door, and she would feed it to Joe the cat.
What I want to know is, what other colors does their salmon come in?
And they were like, your cat wandered into our house again. I go, I wonder why.
We
don't feed him pink salmon over here.
here.
Heads up, he might be your cat, not our cat. He might be visiting us at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
He thinks our bed's comfortable to sleep on, but he's going to your house for food.
So, Lifetime now. We've had Mush. Well, no. We've had Mush longer than Joe the cat.
We've had Mush 7 years. So the thing is, Joe the cat, we had 10 years, but you didn't have him for the consecutive 10 years.
Right. So there's a gap in my ownership of Joe the cat. right?
Right.
This is, I don't know where we're talking about this. This is ancient, like,
This
Rishi
is-
lore.
well,
I
this
had
is what you
an
do
orange cat
once-
named Joe the cat.
Once you run into the final second digits of the year, this is the kind of stuff you talk
You're
about.
out of content at this point. This is like the third day of E3. When is Game Awards? Or tonight? Tomorrow night?
Tomorrow. Yeah, so the Game Awards are going to be tomorrow night, so we'll probably talk about that on Friday.
Okay. Who's going to win?
Expedition 33.
Really? You think so?
I think so.
They're the big one?
It's been sweeping a lot of awards. So you could make the argument that Game Awards will maybe try to go in another direction, but I think a lot of people agree that Expedition 33 is one of those games that kind of came out of nowhere and was a huge success, really based on itself.
You know, it's a little crazy too, because when Dispatch, the game we were talking about, was it now maybe 2 weeks ago? The thing I was going to say too, the thing that's going around on social media is people showing like a linear timeline of this year where January feels like 75% of the overall timeline, and then all the other months are progressively more smashed up towards the end. It almost looks like you when you were making a poster as a kid and you couldn't,
run out of room at the end, and so everything has to get like really crammed in.
or they start like going vertically down the side, kind of like that. And I agree with that. I remember we were even saying that in January. It's like, how are we still in January at this point? And then now we're
like January. This January's been a long 6 months.
racing towards the end of the year now, racing towards 2026.
Right. So let's ask the kids in Australia how their year's been.
Yeah, let's just ask them. How's your year? Respond to us on social media or don't.
I finally found a list. This was on AP News of exactly what it is that Australia is considering social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Kik, Reddit, Snapchat, Threads, TikTok, X, YouTube, and Twitch. They're all going to be facing fines from today if they don't take measures to keep kids off, which translates, of course, to age verification for everyone else, really. And so far, I don't know that it's been all that complex. There were some stories about like kids drawing facial hair on with markers and getting through. So we'll see how it continues to develop. Should we? Can anyone tell the kids in Australia about Death Stranding?
Right. Teenagers are amazing at finding holes and getting in them. It's insane. We live in a place in the world now where we didn't really have mice in Texas. That wasn't a thing. There's mice up here where we live rurally. In the winter, it's like, well, we got to find all the holes where mice might get in the house and plug those. It's like, you can't do that.
It's impossible.
You cannot do that.
It's like a teenager. Look, when I was a teenager, I learned how to use my like library card to get through the lock on the study door so that I could sneak in and play more video games.
Man, my favorite story like that was that they developed some kind of high frequency tone and they put it in a product. I want to say it was called a mosquito. And they were supposed to put this up places back when teenagers would just go outside all day long every day. They would put it like outside convenience stores so the teenagers wouldn't just hang around there because they would hear this high pitched tone that
like one that adults can't hear.
That adults couldn't hear. But then the kids ended up learning about it, and then what they did was they recorded the tone, and then they started to put it on their phones. This is very early in smartphones, and they would put it on there so that they could send each other messages, and adults wouldn't hear their like ringtones going off and stuff like that.
Wow!
And they used it for cheating and stuff like that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
Brilliant.
The typical kids, right? They're very innovative,
right? Know? So it's one of those things where this law is going to cause a lot of inconvenience for all the adults around, and the kids are going to be kids, and they're going to find their way. They're going to find their way. And it's not to say that it's like these kinds of measures are pointless. I do agree that social media hasn't been great for kids' overall development. It's got to be so hard growing up with a number next to your name that defines your social value.
What do you think is the most damaging for kids on that list? What's first of all, what's the one that would affect you the most? And then what do you think is the one that's the most valuable to have banned from kids?
I think I will do anything to get rid of Kik.
Kids shouldn't be on social media anyway. We're talking about teenagers. That's a different category.
Yeah, Kik is where like all the people who got kicked off of Twitch for being extra shitty, that's where they all went. Like that, all the people who get like live stream themselves crashing cars and doing ridiculous stuff, or like getting people to jump in the water and then running away when they drown. Those people are all on Kik.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, that one is like no one's losing anything there. Right. I'm happy to have that gone. What would affect me most if I was a teenager right now, where would I be?
Like Reddit's the highest on my list there. That's the one I use the most. Instagram
Yeah.
is probably higher for you.
In Instagram, yeah, probably Instagram.
And I feel like kids shouldn't be in a forum like Reddit talking to adults, but at the same time, I was a teenager who got in forums and
I was a
to
kid
adults.
talking to adults and being like, I'm an adult.
Right. And you're like aging yourself up and stuff like that. I think it was important to my development, but also I recognize I was like a weird troll shithole, kind of a guy, sometimes.
You were the epitome of the early aughts internet.
Well, like when you were a teenager getting in arguments over like, just like
Absolutely nothing.
and then like calling people idiots and stuff like that. So, it's tough because kids need to have those places where they can like learn to speak like adults or hold their own. But I don't know. It's like I also don't want kids on that platform with me as well. I don't want that.
Right.
I've always said I always want to know when I'm talking to a kid. And in fact, when anyone says anything to me online that I think is shitty, I just go, they're 12. Automatically, and I just immediately, all the negative feelings I have go away. I go, oh, they're probably a 12-year-old.
Unless they're on the college football subreddit, in which case.
No, I do it for everybody. I literally do it for everybody. I just, it's a way to like, it's like a mental health
your
bandage.
Mental de-escalation.
Yeah, exactly. They're probably 12 years old, right? Listen to this idiot's argument. They don't even understand basic stuff about life.
Tell you what, get out, touch grass, go watch the Geminid shower this weekend instead of being online.
Right, unless they're like playing Mosquito speakers in places, and then you're not allowed to hang out there.
Just wait until they start playing this Mosquito tone, and that automatically gets them through all the age checks.
I mean, pretty soon they're going to want to have like a tone that draws people into places, not scares them away, right? Because all the businesses are going out of business.
Every single business is going to have that. The ice cream van music. You hear it and you perk up, right? Like that's just something that's built into us from our childhood association with the ice cream truck being like a really awesome thing, and they're all going to be playing that so that we all go oh and look over at their store.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too with our discussion about like was it yesterday with the media influencing behavior and stuff like that. I wondered at what point there'll be like a mandate by governments to add more sexual content into movies and entertainment.
So
right?
that people will watch them?
Right. If you're going to use it, like then weaponize that, right? And get people having more kids and things like that. Back to the video game thing, though. I didn't say this. I was saying about how condensed the year got and went off on a tangent. We were talking about Dispatch 2 weeks ago and talking about how it should be nominated for Game of the Year. I feel like I haven't heard about Dispatch once since that conversation. Like, I feel like once I was done playing that game, I haven't heard about that game since. Some things are like that in media where it's like, that was a game 10 years in the making, and it had like a rock solid like 2-3 months, right? And I don't even know if they're planning to make more of those. As popular as it was, and it's how much money that it made.
I think they said that they told the story they wanted to tell. Not that they would necessarily rule out like a season 2, but it would be its own then self-contained thing.
Mm-hmm.
It would be the idea they'd have to write a new story, which it seems like people would be up for that. They've got assets, so if they're doing well, if there's appetite for it, if they want to make it, I say go for it. Right?
I think they could absolutely make a Dispatch too, and follow these same characters in some way, the Z Team, and I think that people would just eat it up.
Absolutely.
I really do.
And it is one of those games that it seems like its zeitgeist was really loud and really quick. But it is that zeitgeist can be so important for getting a game off the ground. A game like Half Sword, Bernie.
I know. Half Sword is now uninstalled on my computer.
Have you uninstalled it?
Yeah, it's step number 2. First one was
you were like, well, now that
admitting the problem.
Now that it's the 10th, I can't play this game anymore.
No, what happened was I just discovered a way that I could like get through I couldn't get past like the first 3 tiers for 10 hours. And then I think there's like 10 tiers. And then I figured out a way, like a weapon that I really liked. And then I was like, oh, I can just like.
You figured out how to cheese it?
Yeah. There's not a lot of instructions on how to play. And then once you figure out some of the core mechanics, you're like, oh, then you can start breezing. So I went from not being able to pass tier 3 to getting to tier 8. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's done.
By the way, I was looking at this at it on Steam. And are you aware that like the game is not actually out? What you're playing is like a tech demo?
Oh, I'm completely aware of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying that it had been out, it had a demo since May or whatever, and I thought you were playing the full game. It's not out yet. It's not out till sometime next year. So maybe they will add tutorials eventually.
I'm protesting in solidarity with Australian teenagers. I'm not playing that. We're
going offline, everybody.
World Cup stuff is starting to rear its ugly head. Iran and Egypt have filed formal protests against pride events at World Cup matches.
Because it's in June?
Yeah, they're just saying that they won't do anything on the field to promote homosexuality and things like that. It's like, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I tell you what, they can refuse to participate in protests. That's what a bunch of countries are doing with Eurovision. I know you don't follow Eurovision very closely, but there's several countries have said that they're not going to participate in Eurovision next year because organizers voted to allow Israel to participate.
Well, this is obviously way lower stakes than either one of those things, but also Notre Dame, who was left out of the college football playoffs. In answer to your question, by the way, earlier this week, the top 4 teams all get buys. Okay.
Okay.
So they all
got
get
it.
buys.
Okay.
But
got
one
it.
of the big things was that Miami got into the college football playoffs and Notre Dame did not. They were the bubble discussion. Texas also did not get included, so the whole thing doesn't matter at all. But Notre Dame was left out, and then it's like from the legacy bowl system, then they still get a bowl bid. Like, for instance, I don't know what bowl that we're playing in, but Texas is playing Michigan in a bowl somewhere.
Is college football the one that has the Pop-Tart Bowl?
Yes, that would. Yeah, the Bob Tart Bowl. We should find out. We should make that an event for us.
There aren't a lot of bowls that I care about. I look forward to Super Bowl commercials, even though I know that that's incredibly stupid. And I look forward to seeing how they're going to escalate the cannibalism of the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Eating
every
the
year
mascot on the field is great tradition. That's fantastic. You can't do that in many bowls, but you can do that in this one. But Notre Dame, then they got, of course, because they were just on the cusp of making the college football playoffs, they got a bowl bid and they invited to this other bowl so they could have their postseason game. And Notre Dame said, "We're not doing it."
Oh,
Yeah, and they're like, "We're not going in. We're not going to play. No, we think we should be in the playoffs, so we're not going to take your
so
consolation
we're
bowl."
not going to take we're not going to have a pity bowl.
And everybody's like, "Holy shit, this is kind of fucked up." You know what I mean? I feel bad for those kids who don't get to play in a bowl game because that's part of the fun. But I guess they're on board with it as a team. Yeah, they're just pissed off they weren't invited.
They're like,
to the
no,
college
we should have been in the
football
playoffs. So we're not going to take the consolation prize.
It was the right decision, by the way. I hate to say it. Even Texas getting left out was the. Let me try to say this. Was the authoritarian? No, it's correct decision. It was the correct decision. even though on a core level, complete bullshit, it was the right decision.
So what were some other of the teams that were left out? Are they all rejecting their bowls this year? What's happening with the bubble?
There was a lot of people on the cusp. No, everyone else is just playing ball, not to make a pun, but yeah, everyone's just still going forward as normal. It's the top 12 teams are in there. The top teams are Texas Tech, Georgia, Ohio State, and of course Indiana, the undefeated darling of 2025 college football.
They should get a bonus bye.
Yeah, but all this, by the way, talking more about this than about Eurovision and things. I'm really impressed those countries are stepping out of Eurovision because that's a big deal over here.
Yeah, it's 4 countries. So it's Ireland, Sweden, Spain, the Netherlands, I believe, are the countries that said that they're not going to participate in Eurovision next year. And Eurovision, if you don't know anything about Eurovision, watch the movie with Will Ferrell. It is astonishingly educational. But it's just this huge music tournament.
Yeah.
Each country will send one representative, a singer, a group to perform at Eurovision, and then all the countries have voting blocks, and they get to vote which country did good, and they finally crown a winner, and it's wildly political, and you have all these country alliances, like all of these countries will always vote together, and no one ever votes for England, and it's the drama of Eurovision is astonishing. And the thing is, it's not just European countries that participate. Australia is a partner country and participates and gets really into it. So it's not just about Europe. But it's a huge deal for the countries involved.
Yeah.
So for them to pull out of Eurovision, and I think some of them had said they're not even going to air Eurovision, which is another level of uninvolved.
It's like if American Idol had a World Cup, basically, right? Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, kind of. It's a big musical tournament.
Scotland, do we have our own berth in this, or are we part of the UK? I love this country because we are a country, but only when we want to be, and then we're not when we don't want to be. It's like we're the country equivalent of a guy in a bike, right? You're a car sometimes, unless you want to be a pedestrian, and then you're a pedestrian at that point in time.
So
very flexible rules.
England does participate in Eurovision, but Scotland does not. So that's not to say that the UK participates in Eurovision. It's England. So it is representing England, not Wales and Northern Ireland and the whole UK. It's just England.
So I heard at the beginning of this podcast, one of us wants to learn an instrument. So what I'm saying is that we could possibly next year.
We're going to learn an instrument and take Scotland to Eurovision.
Exactly. I saw a thing and I was actually weirdly tempted to buy it. It is a digital bagpipe. Have you seen this? Does this get advertised to you on Instagram?
No, somehow that is not in my lane. How did you get advertised a digital bagpipe?
I don't know.
And how does it work?
All the different parts of the bagpipes. I don't even know how many pipes are in the bagpipe.
I feel like there's the pipes in the bag.
You're right. There's the bladder and then the other things. And but then there's the bit they hold that they actually play that bit, right?
Okay.
That's the bit that they've made a digital version of. So you can just press where all the little holes would be and it makes the tones of the bagpipe.
So you don't have to learn circular breathing?
Well, it's kind of like so you can practice, right? And then you can practice. So should I get that for a Christmas gift for you? I get you one of these.
Let's get a bunch of them and send them to all the children in Australia.
We could be on stage next. Is it yearly? Eurovision is. I feel like we talk about it at least once a year. So next year could be you and me on stage for Scotland.
It's gonna be
representing.
It's gonna be our year.
They should get Limmy. They should put Limmy up there for Scotland.
Yeah, but that's like gaming the system. Then you win
for
like,
Eurovision,
hands down, right?
That'd be awesome. Just get up there like cursing at people.
If he could just like auto tune swearing, do you think they could do that? And then Scotland just takes it.
That would be fantastic. I would tune in for that. Who wouldn't tune in for that, man? Come on.
All right, well, I want to say a big thank you to those tuning in for next year's Scotland entry for Eurovision. Alexander Hooligan and Sorrel Elliott, thank you both so much for sponsoring this episode of our show at patreon.com/morningsomewhere and roosterteeth.com.
While Ashley is busy wrapping up over there, I want to bring up something I've wanted to talk about for about 4 days now, which is that the Wrapped thing at the end of the year where they show you your data and your trends for the year. I have officially can now present to you the step too far in that movement. Ashley?
The shark jumper?
My bank app gave me when I logged into my banking app for my checking account and I pulled it up, current account if you're listening from outside the U.S. When I pulled it up, I won't say what the institution is. It had a goddamned Wrapped presentation.
What do you get in your bank's Wrapped? Is it like you made transfers to this many different
Did you know I logged into my banking app 113 times this year? That makes me sad to know that, actually. Every 3 days, I loaded my banking app.
Your inflow versus your outflow was this year.
Ashley, it's too much. That's too much.
It's too much.
Something should be off limits. Give me a break. Wrapped for your banking. Get out of here.
Next up, your incognito browser stats.
Why doesn't Venmo have that? They're the one who put all your transactions out there in the open. That's still to me.
I still don't get that. Like every time I log into Venmo to send someone money, which I always have to make the effort to set to private, but I'm confronted with a feed of people sending money back and forth for coffee or whatever. And I'm like, why do I have to see this?
Also,
your transfers are not social media. That's not what this is for.
If you really want to be bold in that, turn on comments.
Oh, God.
Let us comment on your goddamn financial transactions.
Yeah, right. You leave it public, you're asking for it.
But people want likes on like sending money to other people.
Venmo. I mean, come on.
It really is. When I see people have their Venmo transactions set to public, how much attention do you need? How much?
At this point, you need the comments. You can be like, oh, so they paid you back, huh?
Right.
and just troll literally the entire feed. Make up whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Just why?
Oh, you know what I think that is? I think that's the equivalent of people who like became adults, young adults, and financially independent in like the early or late 90s, early 2000s. That's the equivalent when someone goes, oh, look, I have a platinum card. Is that like that? Because you don't really hear about that too much anymore. You remember when there were different like levels of credit card and people would make a big deal about I qualified for a platinum card?
Oh, yeah. And it was like a huge deal. And you're like, wow, you're so rich. Even though what it means is you can go into more debt. That's incredible.
Yeah, I have the biggest hole in my front yard.
You qualified for so much debt. I'm so jealous.
Look how much of my future I can destroy in one go. I'm all set. All right. A little tangent there at the end. But that does it for us today. December 10th. We're in the double digits now, everybody. 2025.
Can't get it out of your head.
We'll be back to talk to you tomorrow. We hope you will be here as well.
Bye, everybody.